Fortnite recently released a Lego game mode. The goal is to explore, harvest materials and craft new tools. But there are plenty of things in this game that could kill you, and I'm not going to lie, I died a lot. You're also able to create fantastic buildings, villages, have people come and stay and live with you, and you can do that all solo or with friends. There's also the aspect of making sure that you are not too cold or too hot or go hungry, so you have to maintain that whilst trying to survive. So I saw this and thought, you know what, this is what needs to happen. 100 days in Lego Fortnite. I do hope you enjoy. Day 1 starts with us spawning in wearing our Lego Spider-Man skin. Obviously, you've got to have a good skin, otherwise you ain't going to play well. But luckily, we are not by ourselves. We have the Cuddle Team leader, and they are able to give us tips on what we need to do to be able to survive in this unknown land. They first say we need to prepare ourselves by collecting granite and wood, and on the way, obviously, we're going to pick up everything else we see because we're a loot goblin, and it's just what we do. Obviously, with these resources, we're going to be able to craft new stuff and progress further into the game. So we make sure to pick up as much as possible because we ain't messing about. And then we get a campfire. And obviously, for some reason, nothing works in the rain. So if it rains, you can't craft anything, you can't use anything. So we needed to build a shelter as one of the first things to do. Lucky enough, the building in this game is quite simple. So if you are building a pre-made structure, it doesn't take much time, and you just click where the pieces need to go, like you're actually building Lego. But you can go out and build your own things and put your own pieces in different areas and make it your own and make it unique. So as you saw, we built a crafting bench, and then we built our first tools. Obviously, we're going to need these tools so we can break down rocks, chop down trees, and tools are only going to get better. And then we need a village square to actually mark our area where our village is going to be. And I chose near where we spawned is not a bad location. It seemed flat, there wasn't much danger around us, and it seemed nice. We then looked at the village hub to see that each level we get different rewards, and we need to build stuff to level our villages up, and it also takes materials to progress to each new level. So we build ourselves a bed and get our first night's sleep in. But sadly, you cannot sleep for the night in this game, which I wish you could. So I lied on the bed for 5 seconds, realised I couldn't, and then we had a guest arrive, so I decided to start building and building, and then I got too cold and needed to just chill near the fire. But early morning of day 2, I had enough of waiting around. I couldn't do it. I was like an ADHD kid in a classroom. I could just not sit there in silence. So I built a torch and I carried on building this building so we could keep some people who are going to visit our village nice and toasty. And also, anybody who visits and decides to stay, they can work for you. It's slave labour. It's so easy. I mean, it's literally the ideal workforce. Like, you don't even have to feed them. All they need is a bed. I mean, how easy would that be if that was like, IRL? The rest of day 2 is pretty much spent gathering material so we can carry on with our build and we can start building different stuff that we need to progress even further into the game. Obviously, we are only day 2, but if you've watched one of my videos before, you know we aren't slow with this stuff. We don't, take a day to just look at some flowers. We are quick with it. We want to get it all done before the 100 days is complete. But anyway, we make our first lumber mill, and with this, we're able to build planks from the wood we collect. And the planks are good because they're able to, make different things. And look, we're able to increase our village to a level 2 village. Level 10 is the max, and we're already at level 2. And we're only on day 2. I mean, we're going to get this level 10 in no time. But as you can see, we make ourselves a sword and we set off for our first bit of adventuring. We're excited to explore new areas and see what this world has to offer. And obviously at this point I was still very new to the game and did not know what to expect. And I can just say, things don't go great for me, from this point onwards. I don't know what it is. Every game I just seem to die. I mean, it just becomes a running theme. I am so happy I am not playing a hardcore version of this because I'd be done after day 5. But on our adventure, we find a lot of loot lying around. Mate, we've got to get it. We're even finding milk. I mean, who's leaving milk around? But then we find our first people to kill, and, they nearly killed me straight away. I was lucky enough to run away. almost get done in there, but come back and finish them off. And we had this person camping the roof, but don't worry, I was smart, and I just broke the wall, and it fell down. You ain't gonna do it now, mate, are you? But we finished him off, grabbed all the loot we could, and carried on with our adventure. We stumbled across an abandoned house, and inside we found another chest with some good loot in. I mean, I say good loot, I'm looking at it now thinking, you know what, after I played the 100 days, it could have been better. Day 3, we're back at the village, and we are having a look for what we need to upgrade the village even more. Obviously, we want as many people as possible, and we want to get it done. So we make ourselves a new axe, and we get on with chopping down some trees, because obviously wood is very useful, and we need it, so we can further, progress our village even more. So a lot of this day was just spent gathering wood, and with this very basic axe, it takes a lot of hits to not, break a tree and to get the material out of it. It takes a whole while. And then we do a little bit more exploring just to see what's going on, because we saw this colourful butterfly in front of us and it took us to a loot llama. And I'm not going to lie, I would endure cock and ball torture just for loot. I am a loot goblin. Whilst we're out and about exploring, grabbing all the granite we can, we come across this weird crab-looking creature that rolls at us, and it does a bit of damage, but we are able to take it on. And these things are just, I don't know what they are, but they are a nightmare. But we find our first bit of actual good loot in one of these chests. We're finding stuff that is going to be very useful in the future. Day 4, we're back with the crafting. We're almost got enough planks so we can upgrade the village to level 3. And then we're going to build our next building. We're going to build a log shed because, you know what, we need storage. And I don't want to leave my chest out in the open. Skeletons come at night and they try and mess you up. And I thought, you know what, let's make the place look nice. If you've seen my other videos when it comes to games where we're crafting and building villages and stuff, I always try and make them look very nice. I ain't one for just chucking it down going it'll do. I want to make it look, homely. But we're able to get this built rather quick. I mean, it's only a few stages, and it's a quite simple building. Some of the later on buildings have like 30 stages, and they take a whole lot of materials, or like 200 plus materials. But we get the final piece on, and that's it. We've got our next building. And obviously, this is going to be mainly used just for us to put our chest in, so we can store our loot, because we don't need it all lying around, and the storage is very limited. Then obviously we upgrade our village and we're looking at the new builds we've got. We can now build a big wooden gate. And I'm thinking, you know what, this actually could be ideal. Do we build a big wooden, fence around and protect our village so we don't get, done in by the skeletons at night or weird wolves or anything that could come and try and kill us. But then farming, I mean, I hate it in games, but we're doing it. We need to make sure we've got resources. We do not want to go hungry. But Aurora, she wants to stay in our village. We've got it. First villager. Early morning, day 5, we're following a butterfly. I mean, if you, told someone you're chasing colourful butterflies early in the morning, they'd probably lock you up. But not us. We're following them and we're getting the loot. But we're also getting jumped by a pack of wolves. And I mean, these were annoying. And it's my first death. It was coming. It was going to happen. But I thought, you know what? Come on, Sunflower. Let's go. Me and you, we're doing this together. And that's it. We tag team them. We fill them in. I get my backpack back. And I've got my loot. And we are good. We make it back to the village. And we start throwing down some chests. Because, again, we need storage. I can't leave it around. But then we set out on another adventure. I just can't help myself. Sitting around, it ain't for me. And we come across this cave. And we think, you know what? What makes sense here? Well, going into the cave, going into the dark, scary cave makes loads of sense to me. But lucky enough, there is literally no one in the cave. And the caves later on, there's a lot of people. But this one, I get lucky. All the chests are there. I can just grab what I want. And we are good to go. Sadly, there is marble and knot root in here. And I can't harvest it yet. I do need better equipment. And at this point, I didn't realise you got to upgrade the crafting bench. But once I do that, we can make better equipment, and we're able to do that good stuff. But my adventuring sort of got me into trouble again. I mean, just a little bit. I got hit with a big old, I don't even know what that was. But yeah, this old big beastie decided to take me out, and yeah, I was sort of no match for him. I mean, they just one-shot you no matter, what part of the game you're in. You're getting done. Day 6, we need to go make our way and get our stuff back. Luckily enough, there's a big old beam in the sky that says, you died here, come get your stuff. And we know where we're going because, yeah, I kind of forgot about the map a lot. But we were sneaking around thinking, this is going to make sense. No one's going to know where we are. There's no one here to sneak around for, so I just looked daft at this point. But then the skeletons come, and I've got a bone to pick with them. You get it? Because they're made out of bones. But all jokes aside, this was an intense battle, and we barely made it back with our lives. And if you see this, every like equals one prayer for the Great Dane in Lego Fortnite. We nearly didn't make it, but we had time to make a grill when we got back. Priorities. What do you do with every near-death experience? Go and get a grill and make some food. I mean, come on now. But at this point, I thought, you know what? We need to upgrade the village again. I need to start doing this. I want to get it to level 10 as soon as possible. So I made the most pointless building I can, a log lookout. And then I realised you can upgrade the crafting bench, and we do it. And I realised you can make more equipment, but we need knot root rods. That was a handful to get out. And I realised we need that, but I wasn't too sure how. But then I remembered in the cave. So what we need to do is make the better axe and get in there. But I wasn't done building at this point. I wanted to make another building so we could get the rest of our stuff inside there. Because, again, you can see it's raining. I can't even use my lumber mill, which is ridiculous. I mean, what's a bit of rain ever done to it? But either way, build a new building and we get it in there so we can use our new stuff. But we make our way to the cave and we are determined to get the knot root. But I didn't think this through. I didn't think, you're going to have to build this new axe so that you can actually chop it. I went there without building a new axe or even a pickaxe, and yeah, what a waste of a journey. Day 8, I realised I was running out of food, so I went out hunting wolves for some fresh meat. But then I saw another loot llama, and of course I had to go for it. We're loot goblins after all. We're going to gobble that loot. So we grab all the loot we can, we gobble it all up, and then we carry on with our mission to get meat. If you're a wolf and you're watching this, I don't usually go around killing wolves. I am pro-wolf, but the game made me. It's not my fault. But we return to the village and we get the meat on the grill. We are barbecuing. And then we finally craft this upgraded axe that we needed to start with. I feel a bit daft. I mean, it was just right there in front of me. So obviously day 9, we had to go put it to some use. We make our way over there and we set out to go get a bunch of knot root. As the game progresses, you need better equipment to get better materials and so on, and before you know it, you sort of need a mix of all. So it's always good, to be able to get what you can, and as much as you can. So you're not running back and forth to caves and looking for it. And I wish I did this more. I wish I stockpiled a lot more of this stuff, but it takes so long with the lower, level equipment to even do anything. But look, we're upgrading again. We're level 4. We are 9 days in. And we can now build a log watchtower. And we think, you know what, this is going to look great in the corner. Well, I didn't even realise it's not on flat ground. I couldn't really get onto it. But we carry on building what we can. We get all the supports on, we get the stairs on, and that's where I realised I made a big mistake. I couldn't really get on there. But lucky enough, with this game, obviously, you can sort of craft certain things and, bricks, like you can with, normal Lego. You can add anything you want. So I'm actually able to make a little step up. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but it works. It's functional. That's all that matters. Our log tower is coming together nicely. We're now able to stand up top, and see into the distance and carry on building. Obviously, we need railings, safety first. I mean, health and safety isn't going to check off on this if there's no railings. And this is the main thing about this game, health and safety. Don't get me wrong, the building does get a little bit tedious in certain parts, because obviously a lot of it is just snapping on, and sometimes it's very awkward with the snapping on, and the controls can be a little buggy, and hopefully it's something they can, fix in the future, and they do release a lot more content to this, because it would be fun. But I did get to the end of the 100 days, and the last 10 days I had nothing to do. You just sort of hit a wall where content was kind of just finished. And So I enjoyed it, but at the same time, it is a little bit, same old by a certain point of the game. So hopefully things can be changed in the future. And if you do want to see more of this, do hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know. Because obviously, if you want to see more of this, I am going to deliver. I'm like a postman. I deliver. But I best stop rambling. We nearly finished the watchtower. Lucky enough I was talking because we smashed through that. But anyway, we build a new sword and we get a new pick. And we set off again because this time we can finally get some marble. And again, marble is going to be useful. It isn't just for countertops and flooring. This marble is going to be able to create stuff. And yeah, you can use it for countertop and flooring in this game. But that's besides the point. We arrive back to the village to see we're invaded by sheep, but that does not bother us because we are upgrading again to level 5. And we see Brightbomb and we're like, don't worry, we've got a bed for you. Come move in. Did I just pick women? Yes. To my fiance, if you're watching this, don't hate me. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's not my fault. I am probably single after this, but it's okay. Health and safety is not going to be on our case at least because we are getting these railings up. But look at it, we are done and we are now able to look over at the distant lands and admire its beauty. Day 11 we're back chasing butterflies. Again, if you told people that, it would not sound too great. But this time we're getting burgers out of it. You cannot go wrong. Bread, burgers, we are living the high life. And then we find another cave, and this time we're going to jump in, and this was not, a nice cave this time. There was a lot of skeletons, and they hit hard, and with only 3 health, things were not going too great when a bunch of them ganged up on us. So we did what we could, we ran round, we jumped over them, and we grabbed all the chests we could. That was the easiest thing to do when you have sort of no health. You've just sort of got to run and, hope not to get cornered like I did here. You've got to run round, like you're training zombies back in the day. Kino to Toten has paid off. But we're able to get back, grab our loot, and try and get revenge on these skeletons for killing us. Then we hop out into a different exit and appear somewhere new we haven't been before. We're actually further away. And we get jumped by a crab shell thing, whatever that is. And at that point I thought I was dead. But lucky enough, fall damage ain't a thing when you use the geysers. Geysers? It don't even matter what they're called, because that's irrelevant, because I'm going to kill one of these brutes. I'm going to do it. Look at it. I almost do it. I don't almost do it. Look how much damage I'm doing. I'm doing next to nothing. This thing was tanky. So day 12, we're running back to get our loot again. These days are happening a lot now. We are just dying. These brutes are difficult. But, they're getting us wood. They're knocking trees down for us, so I can't complain too much. But we chuck some meat on the grill, and we just sort out our inventory before realising we need more granite. So we set out, me and Bright Bomber, on a nice little date. Quest together. And, and then we decide, what's the next logical thing? To build a bungalow. It's just what you do, if you're having a bad day, build a bungalow. Your nan's just died, build a bungalow. It's what you've got to do. It makes everything, feel better. So we get the flooring nice and, looking Lego-y. And then we start with the doors and the walls, and we get this bungalow sort of partly built. Obviously, the days do sort of fly by in this game. I think it's about maybe 10 to 12 minutes for a full, day and night cycle. All. But one thing I wish that this game, sort of implemented was that the building had more use, because I built a bungalow and it was just, it was pointless. You may as well just stuck to the standard little buildings that cost next to no materials, because you get nothing really from building these big things that take, ages to build and hundreds of material. But this thing was a 2-day job at this point. We're on to day 13 and we are still building, and as you can see in the top right corner, we are already ready to upgrade our village again to level 6. It's really simple to upgrade your villages. It doesn't take much at all. You can really get level 10 in next to no time. I think the hardest things is just the materials you need to actually upgrade, because you need some sort of late game materials towards the end. But anyway, we carry on with the roof of the bungalow. Obviously, with a bungalow, we've got no stairs, so it's nice and simple. And then we head out to go get some more knot root because we were running low. And we also needed some more marble because we wanted to keep upgrading our equipment. Lucky enough, it doesn't take too long to really get these, and it's kind of chill. It's better than, you know, going out and dying a lot. Because, I mean, I wouldn't even know what that's like, but I can imagine it's not very nice. When we return, we make a stone breaker, and with that, we're actually able to make granite slabs and marble slabs. And then we're back out again collecting more granite, because obviously this bungalow is taking a lot of granite and a lot of wood, and we wanted to get it finished before we went out any more exploring or build anything else new. We then make our first granite slabs, and I don't really know why I did this, because they are ridiculously useless, and there's like next to no uses for them at all, but I just felt like it was a good thing to do. And then we placed down some benches because I want to make the place look nice and homely. And then we had a look at what we needed to upgrade the bench one more time before I built a closet on the next day to see that we actually are ready to upgrade the village again, and we're already ready for level 7. I told you, we're not messing around. We make a spinning wheel and we see everything we can make with it, and we decide we need to make some cord. Then we open up the crafting bench to see that we actually make health charms, and these, oh my god, why did I not see these sooner? Look at that, boom, more health already. So what we do, we think smart. Let's make ourselves a crossbow. We want to stay as far away as possible from the enemies, because then we'll take less damage. But if we do get close, we need a better sword, so let's make that. Day 16, we're back out exploring. We're finding random buildings all over, and we're now seeing new turtle, crabs, things. But obviously, we've got a girlfriend, our villager with us, and we look out, and we actually end up in the desert, and we see these big chunks of what look like honey or frozen piss, and we decide, let's mine it, but nah, pickaxe breaks. What is our luck? But we carry on looking through the desert, and we see some spicy peppers, and obviously they're going to be useful when we get cold because they're going to increase our heat. But we look around more and we see some weird, I don't know, it's like a rainbow on a cloud thing, a bunch of people, but there's not really much you can do. So we just carry on killing wolves and weird crab things, and then even killing a few people that we find on the way. I mean, I don't know why we had beef with them. They just wanted to kill us. He's got pancakes as a head. None of it makes sense. It is all very confusing. I don't think anyone understands why anything happens. But, you know, it gets dark and we've got to make our way back, and it is dangerous. We have so many skeletons chasing us, and lucky enough we make it back safe and sound. Next day we're making a new axe. You know, we need to keep up with our equipment. And then we make a new pickaxe and then put a chest next to the grill so we can actually put food in there, so we can start having a bit of organisation, because at this point I was just dumping stuff everywhere and anywhere. I mean, it was ridiculous. The amount of materials I like double harvested because I was like, oh, I haven't got any of this. I did, but whoops. But anyway, we decide to finally go harvest this with a fresh new pickaxe to see what it is, and we see it's rough amber. And at this point we're thinking, you know, what can we do with rough amber? You know, are we going to make like necklaces and, you know, start selling them? No, we ain't. And then we get the big brain play. Use some explosives to harvest the new wood we can't get yet. Flex wood. After that, we spend the early morning running around the desert looking for something new, and we have another brute in the distance, but we keep far away. We ain't messing about with them. I'm not getting one-shotted again. But on our return to the village, we're with the bungalow. We're getting it built. It's looking brilliant. If building bungalows were this easy, I would be a millionaire, because I would just build bungalows for everyone. I'd go find a field and just be like, you can have a bungalow, you can have a bungalow, you ain't having one because you stink. I mean, easy, easy work. Inside the bungalow, we decide to put a gem cutter so we can actually cut down our amber and put it into cut amber. You know, you never would have guessed. Day 19, we're back out again. I mean, a lot of exploring does happen. We don't spend too much time around the village a lot, because the main part of the game is exploring. So if you're not into exploring, you're watching the wrong video. But don't leave. I mean, do stay. I'll miss you. Anyway, we're harvesting knot root, we're getting marble, we're just doing the lot. We're also avoiding every skeleton we see because we are not ready for that smoke. Even though I got smacked in the back there. We arrived back on day 20. We spent the whole day mining. And now we decide we're going to build a lot of this bungalow. We're going to build it as much as we can because we're sick of not having it done. We need a roof. It's leaking. You know, every time I try and get in bed, it's flooded. I've got a wet pillow. But shock, we can upgrade our village again. Level 7. And it's already ready for level 8. I mean, it really doesn't take much. Day 20 and we are ready to go. And we decide, you know what? We're having a nice big fence. We're going to look beefy. No one's going to come attack us. And I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, how did I not realise I built it backwards? And I mean, it looks cool, but somehow I built it backwards. I mean, I don't know how I didn't realise that it's a wrong way round. Like, but anyway, I had to knock the whole thing down and restart pretty much. But then I was looking at the crafting bench and saw that I can make the new health charm, and this one is even better. Look at that now. Look how many hearts we have now. We are so much better, and we think, you know what, we'll make a common one. We had the materials lying around. Let's boost it even further. We carried on making new equipment, and we decided to make some dynamite. Obviously, we were thinking this is going to be useful. With this, we're going to be able to blow things up, and we're going to do crazy stuff. And then we built a bunch of arrows, because again, I'm keeping my distance. I'm going to try headshot them, and I ain't getting close to them. And I think this is the point where I realised I built it the wrong way round, and it looks stupid. So I had to break it all down, and then rebuild it the right way this time. Luckily enough, it's quite easy to knock down, and you get all your resources back, so it didn't cost me any more. Day 22, we're back out exploring, and this time we know where we're heading. We're heading straight to that desert. We want to look in the caves, we want to find new stuff, and we want to find new materials, but we see a brute and we're thinking, this is it, we're strong now, we've got this. 7 damage every hit, you know, we're going to be able to do this nice and easy. And it started off well. I mean, we were doing well, we were dodging, we were running around, I mean, we were throwing dynamite and it really wasn't doing much. But still, we were doing, you know, an alright, amount of damage, and he got stuck at this point. I was like, this is it. We've glitched it. Nah, he got unstuck, and he made me look stupid. I don't actually know how many times I died during this 100 days, but if you watch it and count it, all I'm going to say is, you know, don't mock me. Don't laugh at me. It's not my fault. I was playing on the hardest mode. I mean, look at that. One-shotted. But lucky enough, he got the wood that we need. So we're laughing. We collect what we need, and we carry on looking around and exploring the desert even more. And we find this random NPC just chilling there on about, you know, trying to find cool stuff from digging, and I wasn't bothered. I want digging it. Someone better be finding these funny, because I am making myself look stupid here. People better be laughing. The exploration pretty much goes on for the rest of the day. We're just running around, we're trying to find new stuff, and I ain't gonna lie, there's not much. We discover some water and we jump in it and realise you can't really stay in water for long. But lucky enough, it just respawns you, I think, at the closest land. And this sort of worked out for us because we were able to explore, you know, a different area we probably wouldn't have been able to get to. Early morning the next day, we're still exploring. We're running over this broken bridge. I mean, look at the speed of that water. If we went in there, we are gonski. But we're still just running around, and we stumble across a cave, and we think, let's explore. Let's see what's inside these desert caves. And we see that we are burning. We actually, you know, can't withstand the heat, and it takes a lot of damage. But we luckily enough had a milkshake that we looted not so long ago that made it so we could withstand the heat just a little bit. But still, we thought this is not the time to be harvesting anything in a cave where we are burning and taking damage. We didn't know what mobs lied in there. On the way back, we saw another cave, and we thought, this one, we ain't going to struggle in, so we'll have a look round and we'll grab what materials we can find. And we actually end up spending the majority of the night in this cave up until early next morning. At this point, I was just trying to grab as much materials as possible because I just wanted to have a stockpile, because it wasn't fun constantly running out to the caves, constantly having to run back and forth just, you know, to build one thing or to progress just a little bit. But we do find a lot of chests in here, and I mean, it's alright loot, it's nothing crazy. We're going to find better loot in the harder areas, but it's still free stuff, and you can't complain. Everything's better when it's free. On arrival back, we are building the rest of this bungalow. We're so close, we want to get it done. We've just got the last bit of the roof to go, and that is us complete with our bungalow. And then with the wood we've got, we decide to build out the fort wall even further. And I mean, we did a shocking job. I mean, look at it. It's not even straight. This was before you could actually snap onto stuff. I didn't realise this. But don't worry, we do knock it down and rebuild it. But anyway, we start to make some marble slabs, and then we go, we can't do it. We can't have wonky walls. There's just something about it. So we knock it down, and we think this time we're going to be smart. We're having straight walls because, we want to make the place look nice. We don't want to make it look like someone out the head designed this place. But we're a quarter of the way through and we are still out hunting meat. We need a way to automate this. We need a way to be able to find food and not struggle. But we end up in a new area, a place where we actually get cold. And this is because we're in sort of like the snowy, wintry area and things get hard. I mean, we're headshotting these and it's like nothing to them, and things only get worse in this area. I knew we wasn't ready at this point, so I was like, I'm going. Again, another brute. And then we get rolled over by whatever that is, and it does me. But look, we can make a new crossbow. You know what that means? We are even going to be stronger, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to make dynamite, I'm going to make a new sword, we're going to go out there, and I'm going to kill everything that tries to kill me. I might even take down the brute. It didn't happen quite like that, but we head out over there and we're ready. We're ready to, get revenge on the things that have killed us so many times and all these new mobs. And even though we're in the cold area, we're smart. We take our spicy peppers with us and we run across the snow brute. And I mean, look at this thing. It's blue. You know what that means? It's cold. But yeah, things really don't go well for us. I mean, I don't even know why I tried it. I mean, I was not even close. The thing ran me over. Day 27, we're running back to get our loot for like the 20th time. I mean, it just keeps happening. I don't know why at this point I didn't think, you know what, maybe we're just not ready. I was like, nah, it'll be easy, it won't be too bad. It's not. I die so many times to this stupid stuff, and I'm in the cold. I can't even run that quick. Things are going bad. And yes, I died again. It was a bad day for me, and then I end up freezing. And what can be worse? I'm now getting chased by skeletons, and look at it. I have got 0 health, pretty much. But we go again. Day 28. We are back running to our loot. But this time it's closer. We at least made a bit of distance toward our base. It's just not good enough, though. We keep dying. We can't go on like this. I mean, it's embarrassing. But do not worry. Do not give up on the Great Dane. Never give up on the Great Dane. We are smart. We are going to do this. So what we do, we decide this is it. We are going to show these brutes that we are not to be messed with. We grab everything we can. We make sure we've got our new crossbow. We've got enough arrows to last us, and we take down the brute. Look at it. It's like an Elden Ring boss at this point. We do it, and we get the brute scale, and it felt very underwhelming knowing I didn't get anything cooler. So I kind of went home and called it a day. Day 28, and we are back, and we are now putting pointy things on top of our walls. Because, what if birds try and land on it? You didn't think about that, did you? Pigeons are a nightmare. And once we finish that, we head back out looking for more amber because we need it. We need it to upgrade the village. We need it to, make new equipment. And it's always useful to have, let's be honest. So we just grab a bunch of it, as much as we can carry, and then we carry on with our day and we hop into another cave. And yeah, we're doing the same thing again. We're grabbing knot root, we're grabbing marble, we're just, killing spiders and scorpions. We're just doing every day-to-day things. But don't worry, the days are going to get a little bit more interesting and we're going to start ramping up. Not every day is going to be the same and boring, because we are closing up onto day 30. But anyway, we make our way back to the village, and obviously it's now starting to look good. Things are looking well. We can finally see it forming, and we are ready to upgrade to level 8. We're only 2 levels away from max, and I mean, we're halfway to level 9, in terms of things being built. But you know what, we think, well, let's get the fort walls up, let's get the rest of these up so we can be protected in some sort of way, because night times are a pain. The skeletons just walk in and do their own thing, and we don't want that. The whole of day 30 is pretty much just spent, you know, building these walls and just sort of getting them, you know, sort of looking decent. It does take a while once you line them up, and they don't always go well, and then you've got to, you know, make sure it all, you know, lines up evenly as well. It is a little bit annoying. We then decided to build a second entrance because I thought, you know what, we don't always just want to have, you know, a door on one side, and this time we were smart and we made sure to do it the right way, because I don't know how I messed it up in the first place, but things are starting to look good. We've nearly got a wall going the whole way round, and we are almost protected from all sides. And then we placed down another building to be built at sort of a later date, because I wanted somewhere where we could put all our machines in one area. But, you know, I had the urge to go out and explore, and I wanted to go out and collect as much stuff as I can whilst in the desert. And, I mean, we have to kill a bunch of wolves, and these things are a lot more difficult than the standard wolves. I mean, they take quite a few headshots. But I suppose a wolf sort of would be difficult to kill. I can't imagine a wolf being quite, you know, easy to kill. I've never killed a wolf personally, and I think if you have, you're a G. But I don't mean like yeah, you killed an animal. I mean like wolves are nasty. But anyway, we make a cool-headed charm, and with this charm, we now don't get as hot. So we can sort of go into the desert and not be as hot, and it's a lot easier for going into the caves. And this was it. We were actually ready to go into the desert cave to explore and see what was new. So we have to make the long journey over there, and boy, did it drag. I mean, it's like a 5-minute walk every single time there and back, and it takes half the day just to get there. But we enter this cave, we go through, and we realise that, you know, things are not going to go well. These mobs are so much harder to kill. I mean, each one is like an Elden Ring mob. I mean, look, what is this thing? It just blows up and nearly kills me. But there's so much loot, but we're dead straight away. Next day we go back and we get our stuff. And now we're getting blast cores. I mean, look, we've got lava around. We're getting bright cores. I mean, there's so much stuff, and this is the first time we really utilised the building to get around. Before, we'd not really used it, and I sort of forgot about it. But was able to place down these blocks so we could get to higher areas, and we got some obsidian, some dynamite, and we just kept getting bright cores and everything we could find. And as you can imagine, all this stuff is going to be useful. We're going to, you know, actually be able to use this stuff to further progress. And this time we were getting like gems, and, you know, we was getting a ruby this time. I mean, we was only getting amber not so long ago, and we're getting obsidian. I mean, things really do speed up once you start getting into these harder sort of areas and start exploring the caves. And don't get me wrong, it does take a little bit to get there, and you're getting dynamite thrown at you whilst you're trying to, you know, harvest, and you've got to be on the ball. But we spent quite a few days there. I think we spent about 5 days, and we returned back to our village feeling good, knowing that we were actually quite close to being able to upgrade to the epic crafting bench. But before that, I wanted to get my new area built up and ready to go with all our new equipment. We got as much of it built as we could before we started to cut the rubies down to see what we could make with them, and then we started making some obsidian slabs because they seemed like they could be quite useful in the future. We spent the next 2 days tearing down our old machines and moving them over to our new area. Obviously, we wanted to make sure everything looked nice still, and we sort of had an area because at this point, I kind of just had them all over the place, but everything is useful. You need, you know, each machine for different things, and it was quite useful to be able to get it all up and, you know, in the same area, and I had, you know, storage around it, and it all just worked a lot easier. So we carried on putting the arches in because, you know, they needed to go in to be able to put the roof on and something like that. I mean, I think it's meant to be sort of like, you know, something in the centre of your town and where you can put benches, but we were going to use this as sort of our workshop. And we're going to need the roof because obviously the machines don't work in the rain, and it does rain quite often, especially at night. And night was a lot of the time I got my crafting done because I spent a lot of the day exploring. It was just a lot easier not to deal with skeletons, you know, whilst you're trying to explore new areas and discover what there is. But once we finally got the roof finished and the building complete, we felt good. I mean, look at it. We had everything we needed in one space pretty much. We got our workbench over there, and we, you know, I forgot to upgrade it. So don't worry, I do it in the future. If you're watching this and you've played and you're thinking, you haven't upgraded it again, don't worry, I do. But we knocked down our old buildings. Obviously, we're going to need the wood anyway, and they are quite useful. And we build our first medium chest. And look at the storage compared to our other ones. And to be fair, I wish I made more bigger chests in this. It would have made a lot more sense. But anyway, we carry on with our farming plots. I think, you know what, let's put a few more down and we can grow a few different things. So in the future, we can make, you know, different things for different environments and whatnot. Because obviously you can make the milkshakes, you can make different drinks and foods that, you know, make you colder or make you warmer. So it's useful to have. But we knock down the rest of our machines and put them into our new workshop, and then build a smelter so we can actually smelt some copper bars. Day 31, I had the materials to build a loom, and I decided it would be a good opportunity to. And it actually worked out great because with the loom, you're able to make a glider, and that made getting around so much more easier. But I spent the rest of the day back in the desert, doing a bit more exploring, seeing if we could find any more caves. Because obviously, at one point, I am going to run out of materials in that certain cave that I used. So it was good to maybe find a couple of caves so you had, you know, enough materials around. And obviously we are looking for loot because we love loot. We gobble it up. I ain't gonna lie, every time I saw one of them, I hit them because they're just so much fun. But we head back to our cave and we look through, and this time we're looking for copper mainly. Copper was going to be what we needed to sort of progress even further, because we wanted to make better, like, equipment. You know, my sword just wasn't doing it. My pickaxe needed to be better, and so did my axe. So we grabbed all the obsidian we could so we could upgrade the village, and then we were on the hunt for copper. But obviously I can't pass up on them beautiful gems. Look at them. Look at them. I can't pass up on them. They are beauty. Obviously we grab all the rubies we can, and, you know, we ain't going to mess around. We ain't going to leave anything. I couldn't help myself. Every time I tried to walk past them, I was like, but what if I need them? What if they actually are going to be useful? And I knew bright core was going to be useful because you actually use bright core to smelt materials down. But we ended up spending about 3 days in the cave at this point, and we finally found some copper, and this was very useful because the chunks of it dropped so much and there was so much of it about. But at the end of the 3 days, we had so much material and a lot of stuff that we could upgrade. We even had a full inventory, and obviously I had to, like, you know, find ways of scaling around and make my way around the cave. Day 46, we set out to make this glider. We were determined. I saw it and thought, this is it, I'm having a glider. This seemed so cool, I want a glider. And then I saw I could make a new shield and a new sword, as well as a bunch of different charms, which I weren't too bothered about. But I made my first new axe. And then I thought, I've got to do it. I've got to make a better sword. I mean, look at it. It was beautiful. And then we cut down some rubies and knocked down the last building that we built, you know, initially. That was actually our first building that we had built in the village, and it was gone. We were moving on to bigger and better things. And obviously we had to carry on building up our wall for our safety. Day 47, with our new axe, we are out in the desert and we are getting our new wood. Now we are actually able to harvest flexwood without having to use dynamite to blow it up. I mean, it made life so much easier. So I think I harvested about 100 flexwood altogether, just so we had sort of a stockpile because it is useful. And this sort of took the whole day, and by the time we got back to the village, it was quite late. But the next day, we were ready to make the glider, and, you know, I put it straight on and had to give it a go. Look at it. This was going to make getting around so much fun. I now didn't have to run everywhere. I could jump off big hills or rocks or whatever and just glide everywhere. It was fun. I'm not 100% sure what possessed me to go, you know, into the sort of cold area again and explore. And I regret it massively because I just feel like this was stupid. I mean, I even went into the cave thinking, yeah, I'll be fine. Nothing's going to hurt me in here. No, that's not the case at all. We were smart. Whilst we were in it for a very short time, we decided, let's grab the chest. There's no mobs in this one. It looks safe. We can grab everything we can. Also, we might even try the resources. But again, we didn't have the right equipment. We needed just better stuff so we could actually harvest it all. But we were finding stuff we've never even seen, like a grey bone that made no sense to me. But we was getting a lot of these frost shells and slurp juices and heavy wool, and it was all going to help out in the future. It was less materials I had to make myself. But the rest of day 49 was spent exploring even further and looking for new stuff. And, we headed back to sort of the safe area and killed a couple of wolves before following our colourful butterfly, looking for that good loot. And obviously this time we found a grey llama. I don't know if this was like a depressed llama or like, I don't know what was going on with it, but it was not colourful and it had no rainbows. And then we came across the hardest hitting mob I think I found in this game. This thing destroyed me. He gave me that left-right good night, but we are halfway through, and that is death number 47 by, I don't even know if it's that much. It might be. We died a lot, okay? But look at it. It's beautiful. It's worth dying for. Lego-ness. But even though I kept dying, I thought, yeah, let's keep exploring. Why? Look at all these skeletons. These were hard. These had armor. I don't even have armor. I don't think you can get armor for your character. It makes zero sense. Why can't I wear armor, but these skeletons can? Who, they spawn out the ground and do whatever. But look at it. It's like a round of zombies. I'm running around in circles. I'm rolling. I'm doing whatever I can. And still, I'm trying my best to eat some food to heal, and it's just not good enough. And they're even hitting my body. They're pretty much shooting my body. And in esports, that is banned, and rightly so. It is disgusting. But we glide our way over back to our body for death number 147. We're going to keep dying. I just feel it. We are not good enough. Who would have thought a Lego game would be breaking me at this point? I mean, people have played Elden Ring without getting hit. I saw someone play Elden Ring with his feet, and I'm dying on Lego Fortnite. What is going on with me? Quite frankly, it's embarrassing. I'm ashamed. Day 52, we are making a brand new pick and we are heading back into the desert and we're heading into the cave because we actually kind of feel safe in there. We actually feel safer in there than we do in that cold area, getting killed by strong skeletons and, mobs that can kill us really easy. And this time, we're going back out, we're getting in copper, we're building staircases up. We've found the best way to get this stuff. I mean, to think at one point, I didn't even really know you could do this. I feel like it's back in prime Fortnite, where people are just building on you and shooting you with mad stuff. Like, I can't say I was ever any good at builds. I kind of just, built a ramp and was like, wow, I'm amazing. But no, I ain't good. But again, we spent a few days in the cave. Obviously, we want to get as much material as possible. And it wasn't too bad when you weren't getting jumped by skeletons and then done in. I mean, look, they are rapid. They are like prime Muhammad Ali, the way they punch you. Also, there was this stupidly annoying bug that every time you died, if you didn't reset your game, that you wouldn't have heat protection, no matter what you had. Even if you had the right stuff on and you wouldn't, you shouldn't be too hot, it was like, nah, not going to happen. It was so annoying. I mean, I kept getting damaged and, feeling too hot and it making it more difficult than it needed to be. But did that stop us? No. We were determined to grab as much material as we could. And that is what we did. We were not messing around. We were making that cave our bitch. But we headed back to see what we would actually need to upgrade our workbench. And we saw, we needed some copper bars, so we started smelting them, and we realised bright core, it was going to go quick. But anyway, we're upgraded, level 9 village, and we're ready for level 10. We just need the materials. We were nearly there. Don't worry, we ain't stopping on our wall, we are carrying on. And it kind of looked a little bit weird at this point, but it's okay, because as long as it protects us from the evil within the night. But we were determined to get this wall finished today, and we wanted to make sure it was looking good. And yeah, it wasn't at one point, but then I thought, you know what, we can do this. We're going to make this look good, and we're going to have our spikes on top so the pigeons don't, shit on us, and, no skeletons are going to get in. And I'm going to say, I think the village doesn't look too bad. I think we've done quite a good job at this point. Day 57, and all we need now is a brute scale so we can actually upgrade our workbench. And the one we got before was not the right one. It was a desert brute scale, and we just need a standard brute scale. So we spent the rest of the day looking around trying to find a brute, and they're actually not that easy to find when you want one. Early morning, day 58, we're still running around trying to find one. We've got wolves chasing us. We're not looking for them, we're looking for a brute. But don't worry, we are actually able to find one rather soon. I mean, it only took us, a day and a half just to find one. And I saw it pop up and I was like, this is it, we're going to do this. And obviously we do, we ain't messing about. Our inner Elden Ring champion comes out. We're dodging, we're rolling, we're shooting arrows, we've got wolves helping us somehow, I don't know. And then we decide to turn on the wolf and, things go crazy, but we kill the brute. We get the scale and we make our way back so we can upgrade our crafting bench to make epic equipment. Things were going well at this point. I mean, look at it now. It's beautiful, but look at that axe we can make. 3 copper bars, and it's going to look good. And then we can even make a better pickaxe. And obviously we have to look at the charms to see what we could make. And we realised we can now actually make, epic charms. And I wasn't quite there yet because there's even materials that I didn't find in the 100 days. But look at that axe. It's a beautiful axe. I wish I had one. I do have an axe, but not that one. I want that one. But we chose to go chop down some frost pine trees. These are obviously the trees over in the cold area of the map. And they gave us frost pine. Believe it or not, frost pine trees gave us frost pine wood. Would you believe it? But we decided to make some rods because then with the rods, we felt pretty confident we could make some new equipment. But whilst we were waiting for all the rods to be made, we carried on working on our wall. And obviously there was little gaps underneath and we did not want, spiders crawling in or wolves finding a way in. We wanted safety and my people deserve it. And obviously we ain't stopping until there's no pigeons making their way into our base. The pigeons are going to be fuming with us. Day 61 and we're making our way back to the desert. We need some amber, we were running low and we decided, you know what, it's not a bad time to do it. And we're able to glide over and land on the big rock and, get some amber. And, I felt good doing this. I thought, you know what, I look cool. I'm just gliding around. I bet the wolves are looking at me like, damn, I wish I could eat him. But you ain't eating me. But we thought, you know what, whilst we're here, let's just hop into the cave and we need some blast cores because these are going to be useful and we were running low anyway. So we quickly get some of them and then we head back to our village. But obviously we had to grab a few bright core as well, because we have to smelt stuff down. We ain't daft, we're going to make sure we get what we need. And obviously at this point I kind of forgot to bring anything because my plan wasn't to go into the cave. It was just to go into the desert, and I was like, oh, I probably should have brought one of them milkshakes, but it's alright, we made it back, we are safe, we didn't die, and we started smelting down some more copper bars, and then made an inner fire charm, just so we stayed warmer in the cold temperatures. We obviously were sick of dying and also being cold, it just wasn't good enough, and this time we made an essence table, because I thought, you know what, let's actually enchant some of our tools. And then we decided it would be a great time to make a juicer. Juicers are going to be useful. We can actually make the snowberry shake, which is just a milkshake that makes our heat resistance go up. And we're able to make like slap juice and whatever else. I mean, useful stuff. But we head over to the cold environment and we are ready this time. Even though we're still a little bit cold, which made no sense. It didn't work. But it's because we didn't have any spicy burgers on us. We weren't smart enough. But we think, you know what? Let's quickly grab some of this material and see what it is, because we weren't too sure at this point, but we grab it and we saw that it's actually iron, and we think, oh yeah, bit of iron. I am happy with that. So we grab as much iron as we can whilst we're still freezing, then we make our way back to our village, and next time we are going to be prepared. Day 64, we wake up in our bed. It's a nice early day. I mean, I was just lying in the bed just to make it look cool. It was actually pointless. I just lied in the bed just before that. I thought, everyone will think, oh my god, he's so cool doing that. But at this point, I still needed more bright core. I still needed more amber. And I thought, you know what, let's just go back to the desert and explore even further. Let's keep getting the materials that we need so we can improve our equipment, our machines, and ultimately become a god. And at this point, I was just addicted to the glider. Every time I could, I was like, I'm going to glide everywhere. and I was doing it just to explore buildings and even just get around quicker. And we still had these stupid crab shell things trying to kill us, and oh my god, they were annoying. But anyway, we're back in another cave, and we think, let's get some more copper while we're at it. And I think what it is a disease. It's an addiction. You can't help it. You know, you're like, right, I'm off to go get out one thing. That's all I need. I'm off to go get some wood. And before you know it, you've got copper, you've got iron, you're getting bloody bright core. And then, you know, you're thinking, I've got a full inventory, and it's 5 days later. It's not my fault. It's an addiction. It's a disease. But you know what they always say? You're one chest away from the rarest item in the game. You can't give up. And was it in this one? No, it wasn't. But still, it could have been. What if it was something amazing? But we spent, you know, the next 4 days in the cave, and, you know, that wasn't my intention, but that's how it played out. And then we head for the entrance, and we make our way back home. But obviously, we got to grab some amber on the way. My intention was walk straight home, avoid everything, and then I saw loot, and now it's night time, and the skeletons coming. But look, you get what I'm saying, right? It's hard not to grab the loot. And now we're on day 69, everyone's favourite day, and we are back at the village. Look at it now, it is looking beautiful. And we can now make an oven. With that oven, we can make some beautiful food. We can even make pizza. But anyway, we decided, let's smelt some iron down. Let's see what we can actually make with our iron. Can we make anything new? And we have a look, and we can actually make a really, really good crossbow. Even a good shovel. I've not used a shovel the whole 100 days. But we can make a good sword, and we can make a good crossbow. And I do love a good crossbow. Not too bothered about the shield. I mean, I use it every now and again. But every time you're in a cave, you need a torch in your hand. But the rest of the day is just spent pretty much stopping the pigeons, making sure that, you know, we ain't getting no bird poo on us, and, you know, upgrading the village to level 10. That's it. 69 days, and that is us done. Everyone's buzzing for like, yes, you're the best. Thanks to the level 10 village. I love it. And to reward our villagers for being so kind and congratulating me on reaching level 10 village, I decided, you know what? I'm going to build them a house. I'm going to make them all live in the same big house, but I'm going to make it nice, you know? They can have a nice, spacious, yellow house. And also it will make the village look a lot better. So really, it's a win-win. So we spend the day gathering all the materials we're going to need. We're going to need a lot of wood. We're going to need a lot of granite. And as you can see, we're at like 200 plus wood. You know, I think we've got maybe nearly enough. So we start by just building the house, making sure it all looks nice, obviously getting everything in place. The floor's already done, and we start getting all our walls put in place as well, with the windows and doors and tiny walls and corners and everything you're going to need. Obviously, this took about 5 days to do. It is quite a big build, and we don't even get it done fully, I don't think, in these 5 days. We end up having to come back a few times, just because the materials, it does end up costing, I believe, something like 300 wood and like a ridiculous amount of granite. But there was a lot of space in this house, meaning that, you know, all the villagers could live in it, and they were all in the same place. And that was good, because a lot of the time they did like to wander and go and kill skeletons and bring them in, and I was like, just leave it. But then we told Peely, you can move in, bro. Peely is someone that I've been wanting since the first day. He was one of the first people to show up at the village, and he kept saying, nah, your village ain't good enough for me. It ain't good enough. And I thought, you know what? It's going to be good enough one day, and you're going to come move in. And he's going to love it. And look at him. He's in. Peely is now one of us. And things feel great, but I think, you know what? Everyone's going to need a bed. So we start placing beds down in this building. And, you know, some people have got to share a room. Some people have got their own room. And I think, you know what? It just still isn't looking good enough. I need to do a bit more. Let's build them a kitchen. And, you know, I try my best. There's not much in this game to be able to make, you know, the interiors look too nice. You know, we build a bookshelf, we place down some random stuff. I mean, 3 amber for that glassware. It's an iron for that pan. I mean, the material cost is ridiculous, but, you know, they need a toilet and they're going to need a bath. I mean, I try and use the toilet. You can't even get in the bath, for God's sake. I mean, I am a dirty boy. But we're still there, placing down the spikes, making sure the pigeons don't come and land on our wall. And let's be honest, we all know pigeons aren't real. They're robots, you know, by the government, and they've got cameras in them and, you know, GPS trackers. You know, everyone was right. The people wearing tinfoil on their head, they were right. Pigeons actually bring out 4G and poison your brains. On Twitter and stuff, I saw a lot of people making sort of vehicles in this game, and I thought, this is my time. Let's build a hot air balloon. And it blew away, and it left me, and I thought, I'm going to have to shoot it down. And, you know, it took me a while to finally make the right shot, but I popped the balloon, and, you know, we were good to go. I lost the, the platform and the balloon and the materials, but I got my arrow back. So who's the real winner here? Day 76, I thought, you know what, it is time to finally enchant my equipment. I enchanted my crossbow and I made some more arrows before making a new sword and enchanting that too. Obviously, I need an epic sword. You know, it's going to be good. I decided to put the essence of damage on it to increase the damage, and also I wanted to make sure that it lasted longer, so the essence of durability. I then decided a new health charm was in order. I wanted to make sure that I had a good amount of health. I mean, look at it, 17 armor or whatever that is. I don't know if that's like 17 health. I wasn't too sure, but I thought, this is it. We need this. We need to make sure we don't get one-shotted by some of this harder stuff. But anyway, we decide to head in to the ice cave and start gathering up all the materials that we find. The next sort of 3 days are spent doing this, and we get a bunch of iron and everything else we can find. And yeah, some of the, you know, creatures in these caves get difficult. I mean, lucky enough, this one, there's no one in it. But once we leave this one and go further, it gets scary. Lucky enough as well, we do find a new gem. We find some sapphire, and you know, there's not really much use for the sapphire, which is sort of a shame, because I was hoping there was going to be, you know, something useful we could do with it, but it was just sort of for good luck charms, which I never ended up making. I was just more bothered about the health and, you know, the heat resistance or the cold resistance. We obviously made sure to grab as much as we can though, because we ain't messing around. And then we decided we're taking on this snow wolf. We're able to do it. And we're even going to take these people on. We are so strong now. But this is where we go into the wrong cave. We go in, we think, oh, nice chest, things are looking good, you know, this is going to be nice and safe. Bone wolves. I don't even know what they are, or why they're doing this, but they destroyed me. 81 days in, and we are still dying to stupid stuff. But don't worry, we found a way where they can't attack you. If you just literally build a stair or a block and go and stand on top of something, they cannot get to you. So I was able to just stand there, shoot down at them, you know, and mine what I wanted to get. Like, they kind of just left me alone after that point because they realised I was smarter than them. But the skeletons still threw a lot of TNT at me. Dynamite was flying left, right and centre, and it was so annoying. They destroyed so much of my stuff. And then I got killed again. Why? So there I am, day 82, running back for my body for the 50th time of this video. I mean, it's just, you know, 100 days of dying at this point. It's not good enough from me. But don't worry, we make our way back, we go back into the cave and we grab our stuff and, you know, we're smart again. We make sure we stay away from the wolves. They're just too strong for us. There's nothing I can do. And I thought, you know what, let's focus on the loot. And we get some cheese. I mean, personally, if I found cheese in a cave, I wouldn't eat it. But that's just me. Like, I enjoy cheese. But I ain't eating cheese from a cave. It's just something about it. Day 83, we decide to leave the cave. We can't take it any longer. The anxiety of these weird skeleton wolves was scary. I couldn't handle it anymore. So we decide to spend the night exploring and making our way back home. We kind of just get distracted again. We're building, you know, staircases up to big rocks. We're, you know, exploring places that we really probably shouldn't be exploring. We should just be looking for safety. But I can't help myself. And then I wonder why I die. I mean, was this the most pointless thing to go back into another cave? Thinking it was going to be safe? Yes. Did it backfire? We will have to see. Because I ain't going to let out no little secrets now. Because clearly I'm very good at this game and don't die. But, you know, I saw this as a good opportunity to carry on mining iron and sapphire and looking for some rare materials that I haven't found yet, or even some good loot in some chests. But, I mean, look at this. Look how many skeletons there is. I'm headshotting them. I'm doing big damage, but there's just TNT getting thrown, and I've got wolves trying to kill me. So I thought, this is it. I've had enough. I'm getting out, and I'm going. I am making my way home. This is it. I'm definitely going home. I saw a castle. I mean, like, you can't ignore the castle. Then there was a supply drop. Like, what am I meant to do in this situation? How can I not get distracted? Like, look at it. But I shot it out the sky. Boom. Aimbot. That wasn't my third attempt. That was my first. I promise you. But I mean, the loot wasn't crazy. There was a fruit pie that I couldn't pick up because I didn't have enough room. But still, it wasn't, terrible. But, we started walking back towards our home. We thought, this is it, we've got to. It got dark, and we were still away. I mean, it then took us the whole of day 85 to make our way back. We were so far away at this point. So, day 86, we're finally back home. We've got a full inventory, and we are excited to be back. And we make the grand chest. Look at the size of this bad boy. We've got so much room to put everything that we've just got in there. And then we think, you know what, it's about time we finish this house. We've got enough material. We need to get it done. I mean, they've not even got a proper roof on and they're living in there. And they've been by me. Well, some of them since, early on. Peely, he's only come now. It looks nice and it's safe. He's a bit of a knob, isn't he? But we knock down one of our old buildings again and try and make it look a bit better. Because we think, you know what, the old shabby building ain't right. We want something nicer. So we, start cutting down our sapphires and collect on materials so we can actually go and build a nicer building. Obviously, with this new pickaxe, I mean, it's 2 hits to break these rocks. It is so much better. At the beginning, it was like 8 hits. But obviously, we're going to need wood as well. So again, look, a couple of hits, we are done. It is so easy. I wish I had this stuff in the beginning. It would make everything 10 times quicker. But we pretty much spent the whole day collecting wood. We wanted to make sure, again, we had a big stockpile of it. We just needed it to carry on building our house. But day 88, we finally got the big building done. Our villagers were living life good. They had a better house than me. I was in a bungalow, for God's sake. I didn't even have an upstairs. I didn't have a toilet in mine or a bath. I only cared about them. So don't say I'm not a people's person. You know what, we're thinking, let's do a garage, because I want to make a car in this game. Why not? Maybe we can use it to get around. I've seen people making trains, hot air balloons, cars, the lot. So why can't I? You know why I can't? Because it is difficult. I mean, I don't know how I messed it up so bad, but you're gonna see. But before we get to that, we need to build the rest of this garage. And I mean, it wasn't too difficult. It's single floor. It's quite simple. The roof was easy enough to do. It's probably been one of the easier buildings that I've done. And obviously I didn't need these buildings to get my village level up or anything. This was just purely because I wanted the place to look nice. And once we had this building done, we thought, you know what? Let's go and build a little log cabin out in the distance. Because you never know, we might return to this game for 200 days. We don't know. If more content is released, then potentially. So, you never know. I want to make sure things are nice for if I do return. At this current moment, I don't see myself returning, just purely because I feel like I've done everything there is to do. And towards, the end of this, it got very stale very quick. But overall, it is still a good game, and I feel like playing with friends might be a bit more fun than playing solo. But anyway, we get the rest of this log cabin done, and we even get the roof on straight away. We were not messing around. We wanted to get it complete nice and quick. We weren't taking multiple days on this one. The next 2 days were spent trying to figure out how to build a car. We put the platform down, we put rockets on, and then we realised we couldn't actually get it out the garage. And I mean, no matter how much I pushed it around, it got stuck in the wall, and I was like, great. So I had to break it, and then I tried putting wheels on. This took a whole day to figure out. 1 whole day was spent figuring this out. So then I finally got some wheels on it and thought, this is it. We're going to have a nice car. Let's put rockets on the back. It's going to be so easy to control. No, there's no steering wheel. It just goes the direction of it. I had to break my wall just to get it out because you can't steer it. I mean, all that hard work for nothing. But we managed to push it backwards and finally set off on a nice little drive. I mean, it was fun. We turned it off and on, you know, we had a bit of fun. But I feel like it could have been done a little better. Even with Lego, there is steering wheels. I have played with Lego in my life. The next 10 days were pretty much spent just pottering around, repairing the damage that I did, and just sorting stuff out in the village. There wasn't really much to do at this point, and I didn't want to just include random stuff of me just walking around and doing nothing. But we are at the end of the video now. I do really hope you did enjoy this. If you did, remember to like, comment, subscribe. You know, it all helps. And if you did enjoy and want to see more of this, do let me know. Or if there's a different game you want to see me play, let me know in the comments below. I've been the Great Dane, and thank you for watching.